Oh yes, it's that guy again. No, not that guy. That guy. Chris the Gate guy, not that guy, if you know what I mean. Anyway, make yourself comfortable. We got hot and cold running moderators serving nice drinks, cheese and biscuits on the side as ever. I would like to thank my patrons. With grateful thanks to all my patrons, including new patrons, John Tomchick, Paul M. Rowe, Tom C., Bjorn Kamitz, James Holman, Michael O'Quinn, Stromgall, Edwulf Sledgeferter, Opus One, Keith Morrill, Tim Boston, Alexander Henkel, Janie, Stephen Huxtable, Surf and Paul Reap, and my newest patron, number 6. I also want to wish you all a happy Christmas and a fantastic New Year. Talking of thanks, I'd also like to thank a friend of ours who bought me this t-shirt. Look at that, Mr. Sensible. Well chuffed with that. So big thanks, Alicia, I love it. So today's video is actually a compilation of bits of 2 of Chris's videos covering the same topic in slightly different ways. I hope you enjoy. Roll VT.
The video you're about to watch is questioning whether we live on a globe. If you don't like that, time to move on and leave a daft comment at the bottom.
Dear Chris, if dogs have such a great sense of smell, why do they keep sniffing each other's bottoms? Love, Mr. Sensible.
I've got overwhelming evidence that this is nonsense, using physics. Rigid body rotation with transmission.
Cool. Looking forward to it, Chris.
Use the physics of that to work out whether a spinning ball moving through space is at constant velocity, constant speed, and it's not by no means. Enjoy the video.
Well, I'm sure we will, Chris. I'm sure we will.
Here on Earth, we can stand on a mountain top and we can't feel movement. In space on the ISS, astronauts can float and not feel any movement because we're told we're moving at a constant speed through space, revolving 1,000 miles an hour, travelling through space at 67,000 miles per hour. So we just can't feel anything. Is this true?
Yes. Are we done now?
So we're looking at 2 constants. The constant spin of the globe at 1,000 miles an hour and the constant speed of 67,000 miles per hour as we move through space around the sun. Constant speed. Now, it doesn't matter if we're doing 67,000 miles per hour through space or 500 miles per hour on a jet plane, 80 miles an hour on a motorbike or 30 miles an hour on a train. As long as that speed is constant, we won't feel any change.
You flerfs have got a real hang-up about this, haven't you? It's the latest thing. Yes, if you're moving at a constant velocity, you won't feel it. It's change in velocity, so acceleration and deceleration that you'll feel.
But if that speed changes, say 10 miles an hour in 10 seconds, we'd notice it. And it doesn't matter what that constant speed is, we'd notice it the same at all constant speeds.
That's right, Chris. If only you had some film of a fairground ride to try and illustrate your point.
Here we have a fairground ride.
Oops.
Now we have a disc that spins at constant speed. And the disc, while spinning, moves along the track. So what we're looking at is the speed along the track. So if you look at the wizard at the centre, what speed he's doing, backwards and forwards, and then you as a passenger, as you spin, what speed are you doing along the direction of the track? As you spin, you're accelerating and decelerating faster and slower along the track.
Actually, Chris, that's not a bad clip. So we've got the rotation of the disc around its centre point, the wizard, which is constant. And then we've got the travelling along the track. Now I know that it decelerates at each end and then has to accelerate again. Let's ignore that. Let's assume the track is infinite. So it's going along the track and rotating at the same time. Carry on.
So pick a person and watch them as they move backwards and forwards as they're spinning. And let's say you pick the man in the red dot. Now he's accelerated from the blue dot position to come level with the side of the wizard. so he's going faster than the wizard to catch up with him. So here we have the man in the red dot again. He's moved ahead of the wizard, and he's had to decelerate to get to this point at the side of the wizard.
No, Chris, he's not decelerated in the reference frame of the disk. If that disk was not sliding along the track, he would be rotating around it at the same speed all the time. That doesn't change. Move it along the track, he's still rotating around the wizard at exactly the same speed. That doesn't change. What changes is his position and his movement in the reference frame of the track.
Here we have a top view of our ride. The base is revolving. It's not moving side to side. Everybody in the ride is at a constant speed around the circumference of the base. If this changed in a short amount of time by, say, 2 miles per hour, people will be jolted from side to side.
Yes, and I agree.
Well, this is our first constant. Our second constant. The base isn't revolving, it's just moving along the track. As it moves along the track, everybody is moving at the same speed, at a constant speed. How have this changed? Again, by 2 miles an hour in a short space of time, people will be jolted forward or backward.
Yep, I agree. Exactly like driving along in a car, and if you slowed down or sped up, you would be pushed backwards or forwards in your seat. Agreed.
Now let's combine our two constants. We're revolving at a constant speed and moving along the track at a constant speed. Now you're the dark green spot moving along the track. The only part of this circle moving along the track, moving at a constant speed, is the middle. As you move along, you're accelerating and decelerating along the track.
Yep, all good so far, Chris. So in the reference frame of the disk, you're moving at a constant speed. In the reference frame of the track, your speed is changing along the linear length of that track.
So here the centre of the disk is moving at a constant speed, but you are decelerating to get to the back of the centre. So here again the centre is moving at a constant speed, but you are accelerating to get ahead of the centre.
Just think about this for a minute, Chris. That disk is a rigid disk. If the people on one side of the disk are decelerating and the people on the other side of the disk are accelerating, then they're going to catch up with each other. No. Their rotation remains exactly the same. They're not rotating to get to the front of the disk. They're doing the same speed they always were. Now that track that you're moving along is in effect the Earth's reference frame. It's bolted to the Earth, or at least it should be. And so as you're spinning and moving along, yes, you've got changes in velocity. That's why you can feel it on the ride. You're getting flung, pushed to one side, accelerated, decelerated. Yes, you would feel that. So let's have a look at your other video and see how you bring this same concept to the ISS.
This is from the University of Colorado Boulder website. It's a gravity and orbit sim. Have a look, the link is in the description. We're looking at the orbit of the ISS. Remember, the Earth and the ISS are both travelling around the Sun at 67,000 miles an hour. At this point, the ISS is travelling at 67,000 miles per hour with Earth, plus 17,000 miles per hour. Gravity off.
Gravity off. Okay, Chris.
The ISS is travelling at 84,000 miles per hour around the Sun. 67,000 miles an hour plus 17,000 miles an hour, as it was when it was orbiting Earth at the point gravity went off.
Absolutely right, Chris. A body in motion will remain in motion unless acted on by another force. You've just removed that force, gravity. so that space station will carry on in a straight line. Other than the fact it is also affected by the gravitational pull of the Sun, so it will go into an orbit of one sort or another.
At this point, the ISS is travelling with Earth at 67,000 miles per hour, or less, 17,000 miles per hour. Gravity off.
Well, make your mind up, Chris. Gravity off.
The ISS is now travelling at 50,000 miles per hour around the Sun, as it was at the point gravity went off. 67,000 minus 17,000 miles per hour.
And again, it's going to want to try and now carry on in a straight line, but the gravity of the Sun is acting upon it. Its orbital velocity is lower than it was, and so it will probably start falling in towards the Sun. I'm going to switch that gravity back on again quickly though, Chris, because otherwise those Australians are all going to fall off. You're right. I didn't notice anywhere that it took into account the price of cheese. And Chris, this is where you fall down. In your Fairground ride example, your body weight, let's say 75 kilograms, is being accelerated and decelerated very quickly in the reference frame of the Earth, or the track. Those forces are great. You are close to the surface of the Earth. It's having a massive effect on you, so you can feel it. Now, you stated quite rightly at the very beginning that you don't feel speed, whether it's 67,000 miles an hour, 500 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour. You feel changes in speed. Now, the ISS is going at a constant speed, about 17,000 miles an hour. It would go in a straight line, but its course is affected by the gravitational pull of the Earth. It's in free fall around the Earth. It keeps missing. That's an orbit. Aha, I hear you say. But what about the Sun? That speed, that velocity is changing, depending which point of the orbit you're in. This is true. Let's pull up some figures. Okay, Chris, here's the Omni calculator, which can calculate gravitational force. We have two objects that we're concerned about. First of all, the Sun. So let me find the Sun in the list. One Sun. And the space station. The mass of that is 419,700 kilograms. And the space station, together with the Earth, is orbiting at a distance of 93 million miles, which means that the force exerted on the ISS by the Sun is 2,487 newtons. Sounds quite a lot, doesn't it? Well, we mustn't forget that the other thing that's going to affect things is the Earth. So let's change to an Earth. And the space station, of course, has the same mass, 419,700 kilograms. I know that the height of the space station in kilometers is 408. Oh dear. The gravitational force exerted by the Earth on the space station is 1 billion and nearly 5 million newtons. 1 billion, 5 million. The force exerted by the Earth on the ISS as opposed to the Sun is 404,000 times stronger. So in effect, you can forget the Sun. It's exerting no force at all. So there's nothing to feel. The space station is, to all intents and purposes, in the reference frame of the Earth and the Earth only. And its speed is not changing. It's 17,000 miles an hour. So, as you admitted right up front, if there's no change in speed, you're not going to feel anything. So there you are, Chris. Could you do me a favour though? Could you do another idiotic video like your gate video and just let me know? Because I'd like to do a debunk that goes viral like SciManDan's. Hope you all enjoyed that. This is the last minute call for debunk videos. 1 minute debunk videos. I need them by tomorrow, 19th of December, by midday. Also, in January it's my daughter's wedding. I've got some time out and I've also got a short break. So I'm looking for creators to make full-length episodes to be shown on this channel. If you're interested, please either email me, mr-sensible@hotmail.com, or use my Discord link to contact me. It's in the link in the description to this video. Hope to see you all again soon. Until next time, stay sensible.
Shut up and sit down.